Living Good, the show where we explore everyday ways for living a life that feels good and is good for the planet. Art, community, good food, green living, and so much more. Living good. Hi, I'm so excited to be here because what I have next to me and what I'm talking about today is the most amazing, incredible, wonderful plant that I've had the opportunity to interact with for the last 12 years, and that is the stinging nettle plant. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited because I really am not that into taking herbs, but there has been one herb that consistently has helped me out for the last 12 years, and it has been stinging nettles, and it's been for allergies. About 12 years ago, I developed some allergies to dust and to pollen, and I was visiting a friend in Santa Fe, and she had a terrible allergy attack. She went into the other room, she was sneezing, she was coughing, her eyes were watering, and she popped 5 pills and came back out, and she was completely better. And I asked her, what the heck did you just do? Because I was suffering from allergies at the time. And she told me she took freeze-dried stinging nettle. So immediately I went out and got it, and I started using it, and within 2 or 3 days of it building up in my system, I felt incredible and way, way better. So over these 12 years, I've taken the freeze-dried capsules on and off whenever I feel that I'll go into an allergic environment, or when it's coming into a season where there's a lot of pollens in the air. And yesterday I learned that the nettle is so much more and so full of gifts to offer us beyond just allergy relief. It's great for building blood, iron, and all of these other nutritious effects, which I'm gonna list now. This is a wonderful plant to have part of our lives. So today we're going to go out and harvest the plant, and I'll show you how to do that. This is all from what I learned in this amazing class at and we're gonna go out and harvest the plant. We're going to make nettle juice like this beautiful thing here. We're going to make a smoothie with nettles in it. We're going to dry the nettles themselves, and then we're going to make a nettle powder out of the dried nettles. And you can also use those dried nettles for tea. We're going to make nettle soup. We're going to saute with nettles, nettle everything. Yay! This amazing nettle field near a creek, a river in Northern California. And as you can see, I took a moment just to be with the nettle. Of course, being in right relationship with all of life. That level of respect is so important, where just as we would approach a human community with reverence and respect, and taking a moment to listen to what's happening before we interject, the same thing with the plants. taking a moment to be in their home, in their energy, in their space, to listen to what they're saying and to respect that relationship that we have with them. They're so loving and so willing and so ready to communicate with us and to share their amazing gifts with us. And in exchange, we can offer our love and appreciation and admiration and respect in the way that we interact with them. So we're going to go over ways of how to manifest that respect by the way that we collect this beautiful nettle to bring into the body and to make sure that she continues to thrive and to grow so that our relationship is dynamic, interconnected, and healthy and harmonious. Identify by heart-shaped and finely toothed leaves with square stems and opposite leaves. So approaching her with care and gloves because she does sting. We're going to see there's the first whorl of leaves here and then there's two. We're going to collect right underneath that, right here. And I snipped, and then I'll put this in a bag. And I snipped so that there are two little new leaves coming right here. And these will grow into two different stalks, and then she can flower and turn to seed again and continue to thrive and grow and propagate. So within the area, I noticed that somebody else has collected here. This one is already cut off and a few others, so I don't want to collect too much in the area. And I also want to leave the tallest ones, as my teacher called them, the grandmother ones. Kind of the strength of the community, leaving them as well. So I already see some have been collected here, so I'm going to move to another spot, make sure that she can continue to be happy and thriving. So what do you do if you get stung by the powerful, energetic, electric, beautiful nettle? Well, the sting will go away in about an hour for most people, or less, or more. Some people actually use the sting to ease their arthritic symptoms, but I did get a little bit of sting through the pants, and if you don't want to have the sting continue, my teacher showed me that you can also use curly dock, or I think this is red dock, but a dock. And I know this is dock because of, this is a dried, like older one from last season, but the little seeds are the shapes of hearts and they turn to this burnt umber color after the end of the season. But there's some fresh dock leaves down here at the bottom. You can grab that, rub it until it becomes like a juicy juice, dock juice. And for me, it went through my pants actually, the nettle. So I'm just gonna rub it on the sting right here. And I already feel immediate relief actually. Yay! Thank you! You're awesome! We're gonna start by putting some nettles. As you can see, I've got my gloves on and I'm using some tongs for those stingers. We're gonna put the nettles in there. We're gonna pour some water in, as much as you'd like. I'm doing it about half as much nettles there. Pop the lid on and blend. I'm done blending and I'm going to pour the nettles into a strainer. You can see the amazing juice and also the pulp that's forming here. That's from the fibrous material. I'm gonna put this in a separate jar over here and I'm gonna put this in a soup. And now you've got your juice. And if you want, you could add some citrus. Like I've got a tangerine that's open, so I'm not even gonna cut it. I'm just gonna squeeze. So here we are, back with the amazing juice. You can see it's a very lovely dark green color. And I will take a sip. Yum. It's very plant-like. and you can taste the chlorophyll in it. Way better than a spirulina or chlorophyll supplement, which come from, I believe, pond scum. This comes straight from a plant that we can collect and harvest ourselves, empowering ourselves with health and goodness. And oh yeah, I'm getting that like electric alignment energetically going all through my body right now, which is one of the wonderful benefits of nettles, is that it aligns us and gets all of the energy moving really smoothly. Ooh yeah, I'm feeling it going all through the center of my body right here. And it makes me want to breathe deeply. A wonderful thing to do with all of the extra juice that you make is put it in ice cube trays, freeze it, and then you can put that in smoothies or soups or other things later. Yay, the juice was fun to make, and now let's make a smoothie. As you can see, I've got these wonderful tangerines that are in season right now, so I'm going to use those for the smoothie because they also enhance the iron absorption in the body with that vitamin C effect. So we're gonna put a whole bunch of tangerines in there. One of my most favorite things to put in smoothies, and I think I should make like a whole separate video about banana ice cream. I'm semi-obsessed with it. I just take bananas and I slice them up quite thin and I put them in the freezer. And then you've got these accessible for smoothies or banana ice cream at any time. So I'm gonna put some of these in the smoothie as well. And then of course we're gonna put our juice. This one's already been strained. So I'm gonna put half of that. And I'll probably add more tangerines and more oranges. I'm just kind of eyeballing this, and we'll taste it and see if the flavor is good. I feel like cardamom would be really delicious in this, which I don't have any right now. So we're gonna try it just with these three things and see how it is, see if we need to add anything else. All right, so let's give our smoothie a try. I put about 2 to 3 tangerines in there, an equivalent to maybe like 2 bananas, and about 3-4 ounces of the nettle juice. Yum. Super good. It tastes like a banana tangerine smoothie. The nettles is very, very subtle in there, but it's delicious. It's really, really good. And I could add some more tangerines if I want more of that vitamin C, citrusy kind of thing, which actually I think I do. So I'm gonna add a few more, and then let's move on to our next thing that we're gonna make. Okay, now time to saute with some nettles. I'm gonna try them in coconut oil. I've never sauteed vegetables in coconut oil before, but I wanna give it a try. I recently was looking into the wonderful health benefits of coconut oil, which I'm sure you all are familiar with. But it's also connected to preventative around a lot of neurological disorders like MS and Alzheimer's, and just wonderful, healthy all around. So I'm gonna put in some coconut oil. I'm going to, of course, use the tongs. I don't want to touch those nettles straight, and I could cut them into smaller pieces, but I'm gonna go ahead and just use the full clusters here. Woo! All right. And then of course I'm gonna put in some sort of vitamin C thing, again to absorb that iron a little more. I'm gonna put in some red bell pepper. Okay, it's probably just been about 4 or 5 minutes. I sauteed it a little bit. I put a splash of water in there and covered it to let it steam and saute. I haven't added any salts or anything else. And you can see it looks like spinach or another green cooked. It's really yummy. It tastes like spinach with like a hint of asparagus, and it's very nourishing. I personally don't feel any need to add salt to it, but you could add a little bit of salt, Himalayan sea salt or whatever you like, or any other seasoning that would be delicious to use. The same way you'd make like a sauteed spinach or a sauteed collard green or a sauteed chard. Yeah, here we go with the nettle soup that I'm just gonna make up right now. I'm gonna call it the 222 nettle soup. I took 2 sweet potatoes, chopped them up. I'm gonna put them in some boiling water now. Wait! Be careful of your boiling water. And I think that looks like about 4 cups of boiling water, something like that. So I'm gonna let those cook with the lid on for about 5 minutes. That's been going for 5 minutes. I'm gonna add the carrots for another minute or 2. I'm just going from how hard and rough each thing is to the more soft, tender pieces. And I'm gonna add the nettles at the very end since I wanna retain as much of their nutrients as possible. Okie dokers. The carrots have been in there. You can see these guys are done. So now let's just add the celery. I did 2 stalks of celery, 2 yams, 2 carrots, and a half of a red pepper, only because I had a half, but I would do more. I'm gonna do a little bit of fresh sage. Stir this stuff together. And you notice I'm not doing any garlic or onions with this batch. I wanna just see if I can stay away from garlic and onions. All right, so this was the pulp from the smoothies, fresh juice stuff I was making. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there, let that cook up. I'm gonna try half of this first and see how it tastes and then see if I wanna add more. So this is about 8 ounces of the pulp. You could also use the fresh nettle, chop that up again like spinach or some other green, like a chard that you would put in a soup. I'm gonna let all of that simmer for a little bit. I'm gonna add some salt. Look how beautiful it is. So I just took the spaghetti squash, cut it in half, put it face down with a little bit of water, 350 degrees for 45 minutes, and then here it is done. And then I love spaghetti squash. It's a new thing for me this year. But look how it just, you know, comes off and makes this really cool, like noodle-like noodle-like action going on here. So you just put some of that, yum, put some of our pesto, our nettle pesto. Mix that up, yummy, yummy, yummy. So now we're going to take the nettles and hang them to dry. They'll take about a week to dry. We're definitely gonna need the gloves to protect ourselves against the stingers. And you'll also need a ball of yarn or some sort of string that you'd like to use, and scissors. And I've already rinsed the nettles and put them on a paper bag here to dry out a little bit. You could put like 3 or 4 of them together, as much as seems manageable for you. Make sure you leave a nice long tail to hang from. Wrap that around a couple times and tie a knot. Okay, so you'll have the leaves for tea if you'd like. So you can see, we'll keep stringing, and we've got several going here. And soon a whole bunch of nettles will be hanging everywhere. Okay, my first nettle string hung up in the house. I'm so excited. I decided to use my bare hands because the plant is not stingy anymore. About 35 bundles made. This is about 8 cups here of beautiful nettles. And now we have our nettles. We can preserve them by keeping them in jars like this for teas, putting with water and maybe something with vitamin C to help the body absorb the iron, like hibiscus or lemon juice, something delicious like that. Or you could also put them in a coffee grinder or food processor and get them nice and fine powder, and then use that fine powder to put in smoothies and maybe keep that in the freezer so it'll last the whole year. These are all ideas from our wonderful teacher at the Nettles class. And you'll notice I was singing a song as I was preparing the nettles. So wonderful to join with their energy. The song I was singing just intuitively came to me as I was touching them, and the same thing happened while I was collecting. A song came to me. So maybe it's the nettle song. Or maybe you have a special prayer that you would like to put as you're collecting the herbs to join your energies with theirs so that they can be the most healing to you and anyone else that you share these wonderful gifts with. If you happen to have a dehydrator, here's another wonderful way to dry the nettles. You can just take the leaf off the stem like this. I've got a whole bowl of them that I did that with. And then put them in your dehydrator trays. If you want them to dry really fast, you can do nice thin spread out layers, but if you're okay, it'll take about anywhere from 2 to 4 hours depending on how thick you put your layers. And then after that period of time, you lift it up and you can see these are nice and dry, just crisp right off. And I'm okay to touch them now. I do feel a little bit of stinging, so you can still use gloves if you want. And then I'll just take those dried leaves, put them into a jar here, and you could have these as tea at this point. Or if you'd like to make it into nettle powder, they're really crispy and dry from the dehydrator, so I'm just taking a wooden spoon here, bing, and I'm gonna crunch these up. Or you could put it in a high-speed blender or food processor if you'd like, but I'll crunch them up, and then I will end up with beautiful nettle powder that you could also use as tea leaves, or then you could put this as a seasoning on your food, or you could put it in smoothies. You could use anything, you know, you could use this for making the soups like we did earlier. It's a wonderful way to get some very supercharged nettle energy into the body. And I'm gonna put them in freezer bags like this, or you could use any kind of container that you prefer. And I can put this in the fridge or the freezer to last for several months and just pull out nettle powder. You could put like a teaspoon in your smoothie every day, or like I said, sprinkle it over salads or any of your food. So I brought my lunch out here today, and guess what I have for lunch? I have a salad with nettle pesto, and the pesto is so delicious, so amazing, so wonderful, just like you, amazing, wonderful, electric, energetic plants, full of iron, full of all these amazing nutrients. I am so appreciative. Delish. I love you guys so much. Thank you. Yes, I do talk to the plants, and they do talk back. We have to consider the fact that conscious life pervades all. These plants have adapted over a millennium on this planet, so you can imagine the level of intelligence that they carry to be able to thrive and grow and be strong and to continue. Humans have been on the planet for a lot shorter of a time, so we have a lot to learn from the plants. It's good to take time to be with them, to listen to them. Some people will hear them energetically just through a feeling that you get around being another plant. Some people will hear the plant by being around them and actually hear words or sounds coming from the plants. Some people will get intuitions from being around the plants. The most important thing is to just spend time to come with an open, receptive, listening presence and respect, ultimate respect. As I recognize their life, their intelligence, they also recognize my life and my intelligence, and from that standpoint, then we can have a good conversation, a good communication. Again, for some people it may just be a feeling that comes over you. You feel great around certain plants. Other people, you may literally hear sounds, words, communications from them. George Washington Carver, who I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, was an incredible scientist, and he's the person who domesticated the peanut before the peanut used to be a poisonous plant to humans. And he explained that the way that he learned how to domesticate the peanut was through it communicating with him and telling him what to do and how to propagate it, how to transform it, how to help it adapt to a way that would be most assimilated by the human body. It's wonderful to understand how conscious and how intelligent and how brilliant plants are, along with all of life, whether it be crystals, stones, humans, other beings. Life pervades all, and the sooner humans get back on that track, for those who have gotten off, the better off we're going to be for the health of this planet. There are many humans on this planet who are still living in a wonderful, harmonious, loving relationship with life, and we can learn a lot from those people. We can imitate those people in so many ways. Those of us who are still in that right relationship, we should continue to nurture it and to share it with other people. I love you. I love the plants. Yay.
I've seen it in my own life. I've seen